Hi, this is Jeff Moore with Peak Music Studios, and welcome to Pitch Perfect Families. Today we're going to talk about something that's very important, and that is the selection of the instrument that your child is going to play. Let's jump in. First, you need to have a discussion with your child, and it's not a discussion sitting down and saying, okay, little Johnny, little Jane, you are going to be playing an instrument. Which one do you want to play? And I want you to pick one that you're going to be successful at because this is a commitment. That is more of a threat than it is a discussion. You need to decide what is the best time to discuss this topic with the child when they're receptive to having a conversation that is a few minutes long where you can get some real answers. You need to have at least one discussion, and I would recommend that you have 2 or 3 over a 3 or 4 week period while you're making this decision, because it's a big decision. You can base this decision on 3 things. Desire for an instrument. Let's say they have always wanted to play the piano. They love piano music, or they love guitar music, or they love singing, and they really want to sing. All of those are good starting points. They love music and they want to participate in the production of music. That is a reason to select that instrument. And another criteria that most families don't consider is where the instrument sits as far as the audience is concerned. Is it a supportive instrument or is it a solo instrument? So, if your child wants to play the bassoon, they are likely not going to get much time playing the instrument, and they're going to be in the background. If they're playing electric guitar, they're going to be spending more time up front playing. Piano is generally a solo instrument, depending on where they want to play it. Singing is generally a soloist activity, unless they're going to be part of a choral group. So where is the interest for performing? And that's something, again, we're going to go to the negative side of this. So that's something to consider on the positive side. The negative side of that is you don't want to base the selection on my child is shy and so they shouldn't be singing or they shouldn't be playing a solo instrument, or my child doesn't have the dexterity for this. Let a professional, a teacher, decide that, not, Uncle John, because he was in a band, in a bar band back in the 80s or something. Somebody who is a specialist in the kinesthetic movement of that instrument as it relates to teaching. Most children, unless they have a disability, are able to engage in any instrument, and they transform themselves into players of those instruments. So misconception number 1, my child was born to play this instrument. My child was meant to be a vocalist. My child was meant to be a guitarist. My child was meant to be a pianist. They may have a high degree of capabilities in some of the skills that are needed for those instruments. However, even children who have low levels of capabilities in those base skill sets can quickly develop the skill set and can really move forward in that particular instrument. We have several examples, both in guitar and voice, where children that were not what would be considered natural singers, they didn't match pitch easily. They had difficulty with articulation. Guitar players had a lot of difficulty with the coordination of moving on the neck. And after a few months of dedicated practice, all of a sudden they started to transform. So don't look right now at the snapshot of your child at 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 years old and say, this is my child. Look ahead 4 or 5 years and visualize them as confident musicians and where they will be after successful engagement with the instrument. That is what we're shooting for. We're not looking to play to their limitations. We want to play to a successful future. So don't delve into the fear, what if my child is not successful? With the right school, the right selection of the instrument that they want to engage in that's going to be good for them, and the right support from you, they are going to be successful. That it is almost always, if you can lock those three things in, they will be successful. And you will see this movement over time that is just amazing. They gain all of the benefits of music, and they transform themselves into successful musicians. So remember, play to strengths. Don't fall into fear. Have a discussion with your child over time and engage a professional. If the school that you're talking to, the instructor you're talking to, is not really interested in having a discussion with you of examining the possibility of if the instrument is good for a child, find someplace else, because they are not invested in your future. They're not invested in your child's future. And you want everybody on the same team with the focus on a successful future for you, your child, and your family unit, so that everybody is moving forward. All right. I am Jeff Moore with Peak Music Studios, and we will see you next time.